Welcome back, everyone, to the Intel Extreme Masters Chicago South American Qualifier. I'm Jason Kaplan, joined by Snods. Handsome man. Love the jacket, by the way. You're looking good.
Thank you very much.
You're looking fantastic.
Yesterday, actually, yourself as well.
I feel like I'm a little underdressed now.
No.
Because, you know...
Don't worry, the jawline makes up for it.
I thought the nose, you know, because I'm like in my trusty shorts here.
See, they would have never known if you had just said that.
I would have felt bad.
Really?
I would have felt bad.
Would have felt disingenuous.
I would have felt as bad as Santos did after that first map, because they lost that 16-4 up against Luminosity, and we'll be making our way over to Train in a few moments' time. We talked about this before we even jumped into the whole series. Train is a map that we're not expecting Santos to be able to take against LG.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, in the prelude before the game even started, Jason, one of the things I said was the fact that, one of the things I said was for Santos to win this, it has to be a win in Inferno. They concede Train, and they try and grab the last map and win 2-1. Problem is now versus Luminosity, the versus...
Sorry, this mic is just being so stubborn right now. Good.
It's fine, mate. So are Luminosity, so are Santos. Nearly had that one. But anyway, long story short, this should be a 2-0 in favour of the favourites. We should be going on to our second best of three fairly promptly. And the reason being is not only have Luminosity won the opposition's map pick, that being Inferno from Santos, Train is one of the best maps from Luminosity back when it had the original core, back with Nekis and Yale, who are still on this team. And obviously, they have now a very strong double op setup, and a map like Train caters for a double op setup very well. So you have Yale, N1 wielding those weapons on the CT side, which is going to be very hard to deal with if you're Santos. You then factor in the level of skill that this team has. So on the T side, they're going to be very effective against opening picks, which is what you need on the T side to work off of picks and then mold your T side around those picks with the mid-round calls. Exactly where Still survives. Thrives.
Survives, both, actually.
Exactly.
And one thing I wanted to talk to you about was something I kind of noticed. And again, like, I haven't casted Counter-Strike in like 3 years. I'm not going to deny the fact. But watching N1 op on Inferno reminded me a lot of old JW. They like to give an opportunity for a pick, rotate him somewhere else on the map where you're not going to expect him, and then keep looking for those opportunities time and time again. Yeah,
so as I said, obviously, loose cannon, a very aggressive style of AWPing, and obviously that does, well, very similar to how JW used to AWP back in 2014, 2015 on Fnatic when... On Inferno, he used to get aggressive in towards apartments, go for that repeat towards middle, get aggressive towards Banana as well, and get the first kill. Obviously, the reason being we saw so much success from that playstyle was even if JW died, right, you still had the anchor on the stability of Crims, you still had the star player prowess of Olafmeister to fall back on, so even if you lose the first player of JW, it's not as if it's like your Kenny S, it's your star player, it's your... you know, where the teams revolves around him. If you lose JW, it wasn't exactly the key piece for the team. So it was that 40-60% aggression in terms of risk-reward. If you got the first pick, brilliant. They win the round. If he loses it, it's fine. They've still got a good chance at winning it because they have such strong players backing it up. And the same can be said here for Luminosity coming into this one. You could argue the star player being Lucas, obviously Nekis being a very up-and-coming player, Yell being a very strong individual player as well. So even if N1 dies early, there's still the... strong players to fall back on, and therefore it caters very well to an aggressive AWPer.
So we talked about Inferno, what Luminosity do so well, and we talked about like where maybe Santos could use the weaknesses of the team against them. Where on Train do you see the weaknesses being for Luminosity in this matchup?
Interesting.
I mean, we're about to hop in a game soon, so you have all the time in the world to think about. I'm just curious, because obviously no team is unbeatable on every map.
It's very true. It's very true. Coming into Train here for Santos, if you're looking at ways to win, I mean, the obvious, universal thing you're going to say is the pistol rounds. Win 2 pistol rounds, get the 6-round advantage and use that to try and gain 1, 2, 3 buy rounds, break the opposition's money going forward, try win that T-side pistol, deny the double op setup early on from the CT side of LG. Obviously, if LG win the pistol, they have an abundance of cash going to the first buy round. Therefore, they can have the AWP on Yell and N1, and that could be a snowball effect on the CT side.
That's exactly what we saw happen on Inferno too, because even if Yell would die or N1 would die, we would see the AWP still picked up by a teammate and brought into the next round. And the economy was able to basically thrive off of that. So we'll see as things do kick off here. We're about to hop into Train to see if we're going to have a 2-0 for Luminosity, or Santos can pull off an unexpected victory here and take us over onto Mirage.
Yeah, I mean, that says it all, right? Even the unexpected victory here on Train for Santos would not merit them the best of 3 win, as they would still have to go into Mirage 1-1. But into this one, into round number 1 then. It's going to be Showtime playing towards Ivy. Pete coming in from the T side, and early Dink coming in as well onto Showtime. He has the smoke to try and slow them down as long as possible, to try and deny their map control towards that part of the map. But for now, Luminosity, they can slow the pace of the round down. They can wait for the smoke to fade towards Ali. And in the meantime, they can take top control. call. And there you have it. DZT denies the real estate control there towards PopDog. 5 versus 3. Santos have the lead.
Just hate to see that happen, too, when you're Lucas and Nekas. It's like, all right, you know, we're maybe not going to get the initial kill, but we're going to get the trade, right? And we talked about how important trade kills were last time in the last map, with Santos really, you know, missing a couple of opportunities there. Well, Luminosity just lost out on a major opportunity now, as it's just the last man alive. It's going to be N1 up against 5. It's got Showtime and Delbonia low. But with just a Glock here from this kind of range, not sure he's going to be able to pull this one off. Now, 3 players are actually all gooshed up here and low on HP, but he has the world to fight against, and he only has 45 seconds to go. Eventually, Santos should be able to close this out, but I like them not giving an opportunity. You know, no one's peeking unnecessarily right now. They realize they have 3 low players. There's no reason to give N1 a chance to pull off a clutch here.
And no clutch. Going to be giving a chance there from Santos. They win that one. Fun fact as well here, Jason. Santos have won all 3 pistols so far in this best of 3. And so far, they've already got 25% of the rounds they had in the whole last map. So, round number 2. LG losing out early on, unable to get the bomb down as well, means they will be going for the 4 spy into the second round. And that 4 spy is going to be 4 Deagles, apologies, 1 CZ as well coming up from Steel, 1 flashbang from Nekas, so no utility to fall back off. But with utility, with the Molotov, with the smoke as well, BLD will take control towards Ali. Aggression as well in towards PopDog from DZT, trying to see if he can replicate the performance he had in the last round towards PopDog. But for now, it's all quiet on the western front. Players grouping up towards top of the B halls. Ivy control going to be denied against LG as Lucas searches for that first pick in towards the B side.
Oh, he spots out Tifa. Does catch him for about 13 HP, but takes a big chunk himself with losing out on 42. But again, like even with that shot, backing away, playing it very slow. They realize they have some weaponry to use. And they realize they have an opportunity, especially in their eyes, against a team like Santos, to easily come back from this round. Since they lost out on T-side Pistol and Inferno, they still were able to take the following rounds and win that match. DZT pushed in towards ladder room. That's a quick 3 kills for this man. Gonna run out of ammo, but still gets the final kill there with 3 in total for him. And yeah, no, the last one alive is eventually gonna be finished off by Showtime. And Santos, that's a good start we wanted to see. But then again, that's the start we saw happen with them on T-side when they were playing the first half of Inferno. And after those 3 rounds, they lost about 12 straight.
Yeah, good sign here as well from Santos. They had 5 players alive versus the 4 spy of Luminosity, which means they have 5 players all alive to absorb the round win bonus of $3,500. Therefore, we're going to be starting to see the cash swell here for the CT side. $5,000 for DZT, as he's found multiple frags with the SMG, $600 per frag. $3,000 for Showtime, nearly $3K as well for Tifa. BLD on 2.5K, so the fact that this is the eco as well coming up from Luminosity should be another very clean round where they can farm up the cash and have strong economy going into the first buy round, which can allow for double up setup, allow for Molotov's utility into the first buy round, but also give them a safety net if they win the first buy round, so they can buy up into the next one, but early on, 1-for-1 trade.
I mean, speaking of clean rounds, the first 2 for them were almost flawless, and they actually prevented the bomb from being planted at the same time, so Luminosity really had no money to use at all in these next rounds. Another clean round going to come in. DZT going to be the only casualty on the Santos side, but he's got 8.5 grand, so he's not too worried.
Yeah, very, very true. So far, only 1 frag found for Lucas. Apart from that, nothing else across the board here from LG as the match is paused.
I mean, that's like the flawless start you want to have if you're Santos, especially going into this. We haven't seen Showtime upgrade to an AWP just yet. I'm curious if we're going to have the double up set up for Santos, which can be so prolific on a map like this, fighting from range and really deny Luminosity from getting some sort of ground and some sort of momentum.
Yeah, well, it's a tough argument, of course, right? You have a Scout already for Showtime. Scout, obviously similar to the AWP, but obviously very different in the fact that there's the extra movement for the Scout. There's the... well, none of the 1 shot, 1 kill unless there's a headshot from the Scout, which means the AWP is far better at getting opening picks. So, Santos, do they take a risk and invest into the AWP early on and maybe, just maybe, whittle down their CT economy more than they should early on? Do they go for the risk as well of keeping on the Scout, which means if they win the bonus round, having the UMP, having the Scout, the cash going forward is going to be in a very, very strong position.
I almost feel like you just kind of don't bother. I feel like, sorry, other way around. I feel like for Santos, you need to get something going. So invest into the weapons. Invest into it right now. You need to build up some sort of confidence within your own team. especially with how that first half went for you, where you won the first 3 rounds off the back of the pistol, and then you lost the next 12 straight. So for me here, I think it'd be a big moral victory for them just to pick up this round, and again, cleanly if they possibly can.
Yeah, moral victory is going to be required after the stomp that they received on the first map. Obviously, into round number 4, it is the first buy round. So in terms of cash, the fact that we did see a 5-man force buy from Luminosity means that typically we see no AWP into the first buy round. However, N1, apologies, does have $4,950, so we can afford the glass cannon AWP to be backed up by a flashbang as well. And obviously, a map like Train, T-side picks are very, very pivotal.
By the way, quick shout out to Rushley, who's observing for us. Thanks again, man, for being here for that.
Exactly. Do you know what's funny? If your Train had more delays, the old notorious observer himself would have been on the camera.
Well, that's a shame. You know, if you want, I could head home, and or I could take over observing. And Rush, you know, you can come on out here, and I think that means yes. No means yes.
Oh, really? He says no to that. I think he might be a bit shy. Shy for the camera?
He's got a good voice for it. I think he could do it.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
You know, what kind of story would that be, going from recruited as an observer to then doing, like, directing to then becoming a caster?
YNK was the observer, then analyst, now coach for MIBR, so...
Be the new YNK Rush, just not as, wearing as fresh as clothing as he does.
Maybe.
He always has the best stuff. Anyways, into the next round here, the first buy-up round for both these two teams. And it looks like the scout will be maintained here for Showtime and the ump for BLD.
Ooh.
Meantime, we do have the glass coming in for N1, as you mentioned before. So N1's going to be using that, looking for an opportunity to go for a pick over towards the inside. Oh. Sorry, that's the outside.
Yeah, speaking of picks, 1-for-1 trade going in towards top of the B halls. And in the meantime, from LG, pushing in towards A main, coming in towards the A site. A 1-for-1 trade once again is just a stalemate of a 3 versus 3, but it's Delboni charging through the connector smoke, who gets one and then walks into the scope of N1. And with that, 2 versus 2, 50 seconds left. UMP for BLD as he rotates in towards Ivy, has a long-range position with a short-range weapon, which could be his demise.
Thing is, though, if Showtime had the AWP, N1 would have been dead because he tagged him up with a shot. So that threat of this AWP being there and that potential 2-on-2 situation could have been nullified with that investment. But either way, N1 going to go for the plant. Lucas going to cover him. Eventually going to be pushed in here by Delboni. Coming in from Ali. It's going to be a shot out of BLD, but Delboni's going to be there to take him down. Now it's all on Lucas in a 1-on-2 situation. He's got a smoke, but a smoke's not going to really do too much for you to stop this bomb from being defused. Big Molotov comes in. They don't exactly know where he is. He's buying time. He knows they're not sticking it, but Delboni comes in big again. That's his 4th frag of the round here. And Santos are going to get the first gun round to their favor, going up 4-0.
Gosh, Delboni being the MVP of that round. Charges through the connector smoke, in, out, shakes it all about towards outside. As you said, gets 4 kills. And those were pivotal kills as well. They were trade frags. They were kills to, in the retake, give Santos the advantage. Obviously gets the first kill onto N1 on the default side, who had the AWP. Nearly found the frag onto BLD with the UMP. Funny as well from Santos, as soon as they saw the bomb was planted, they thought that the remaining player from LG was located towards Pop Dog, but actually he was in towards A main, so he nearly had the drop on the first player there, but whiffed the spray. Another pause coming through as well as we head into the 5th round here. Bomb was planted, which means it adds an additional $800 across the board for the bank balance of LG, who, on a 4-round loss bonus, are going to be receiving.
Still, though, if you can see what they do have currently available for them, about 4,000 across the board for all the players.
Yep.
Obviously, you can buy into this, but you're looking at maybe a lack of utility. You're looking at maybe not every bit of weaponry that you do want. And Luminosity, in the 4 rounds we have had, they only have 4 frags total. And a majority of those came in just from the last round alone, with Lucas being the only one to be on the board in round 3.
It's very true. What a stark contrast to what we saw in the first map, where LG were the ones that were able to run around Inferno on a rampage and basically win each and every duel in the mid portion to the late portion of the round. Obviously, we saw many opening picks come out from Santos.
I want to focus on Showtime this round, actually, because for me, ballsy play to keep the scout and not upgrade to the op, and we saw how it almost worked out for him, right? I want to see him step up in this round too, because now against the AKs, with the AWP in hand, having the range to his side, that kind of investment shows confidence, yes, but that confidence has almost, not necessarily no reason to be there, but we haven't seen Santos perform like I guess they're trying to play now. On Inferno, a 16-4 scoreline is not anything to be happy about. Let's see if that confidence that Showtime has will carry over into this map, and more importantly, carry over to him.
Well, coming into this qualifier, looking at Santos online, the only player I did know was Showtime, and he was a rifler. I was expecting BLD, Daboni, Tifa, DZT, one of these players to be a primary AWPer. But instead, it's all down to Showtime. And right now, Showtime is towards the B side, in towards Connector. He has found the first frag here for Santos to bring it into a maybe winnable fashion, as the Molotov will deny the rotation in. 2 players situated towards the CT position, coming in towards the B side, but those players at CT are going to be alone. As Steel lurks in towards their main, catches Showtime in transition from Connector to Pop Dog, and with that, it will be Santos to concede this round and accept defeat. And heading into round number 6, we're going to be seeing a 4-1 scoreline as BLD and Daboni save.
So I think Daboni's trying to pick up the AWP that Showtime just lost. You can see, though, I think that's N1 waiting right around the corner for him. And keep in mind, they literally walked into the site with no utility and just beat them in aim duels. As a T side, if you're trying to see 2 of the best teams go head-to-head, that should never happen. You should not be able to cleanly walk in, pick up this 2 frags without kills being traded against you, and get the bomb down and win the round. They had no utility because they invested everything into those guns and the armor, and they still came out with the victory.
Yeah, and then you factor in as well, as soon as they get the first 2 kills, they molly out Connector, which denies rotations from the A site in towards B, which basically is the salient point in terms of the save being called for LG. Oh, apologies for Santos, but coming into this one, fast play from LG, charging and going to be applying the pressure early on. Oh, it's actually Showtime that goes down first. As you said, Daboni's low and eventually going to be dealt with here. 5 versus 3.
Nice little boost up there. Does net them 2 quick frags. An opportunity to actually come back from this round, considering how things started off. Luminosity have lost out on 3 big players for them. Bomb is down towards the site. Now the pacing has been slowed down quite a bit here. There's still a lot of time on the board. More importantly, BLD is flanking around the backhand side of Luminosity. And the question comes, will he hit these shots? Will Luminosity expect this? In the next couple of seconds, he's going to spot out his first player. Bomb going to be planted, and this almost for sure should be a Santos round. He's got a man towards ladder. He's got a man towards old bomb site. BLD has still, after all this time, not been able to spot out finally. He actually sees the first player, sees the barrel of his gun, goes for the shot now, giving away his position. Don't tell me Luminosity can somehow win this. Now it's all going to be hands off N1 up against 3 with the AWP. Molotovs, nades, everything being thrown in his direction. He gets the kill onto BLD. Now looking for the second above him. He gets it! DZT, can you be the man your team needs right now? Or can N1 somehow pull this back? Molotov comes in, gonna smoke it off to try to go for maybe the stick here. N1 gets the catch. He gets him off the bomb. He peeks around the corner. DZT gets the kill, but does he have the time?
I believe so, Jason. And he does. 5-1.
Squeaky bum moment.
Yeah, I know. Reset now against LG is they win 1 round, they now get reset into the 7th, and in terms of cash, they have to use everything they have left. If they lose this round, we're looking at a 6-1 scoreline. Then the eco comes out from LG, so maybe a 7-1 scoreline with a 6-round advantage for Santos. But just to cast our minds back to that 1 versus 3, which previously was a 5 versus 3 in favor of LG. Somehow they managed to let that round slip. Maybe they have a confidence of the 16-4 scoreline in the last map. But even so, a round which you cannot be conceding.
Oh, Santos, if they keep this pace up, they're looking very good to go into that T side and potentially take away a map from a team that we expected to absolutely dominate on this one. Showtime, he's so aggressive. There's a man on the train right in front of him. Actually drops down. He gets the first frag eventually, though. N1 will get the return. The little trade out of Luminosity. Now puts a little more pressure on Daboni, who gets the kill onto Steel. The push out of Luminosity in the meantime has been held off, has been staved off now with 1 minute and 5 seconds left to go.
3 versus 3. Push coming in towards the A site now as they want to see smoke off the choke point towards Connector. Daboni as well going to be using a little bit of a one-way there, a gap in the smoke to spot the cross in towards Electric. We have BLD as well going down towards Green Train, as now it's down to this man in front of your screen here, Daboni. collects a second frag as well and drops the bomb, leaving it into the capable hands of the 1 versus 2 of N1. Let's see then.
Delboni, he's winning me over as this match goes on. He's pulled off a 4K earlier on. He's pulled off a 3 so far in this round. It might have actually given Santos the 6th round on the board as well, but you can't count N1 out. They peek around the corner, spots out Delboni, who does get the 4th frag again. And Santos now, they're on a good rampage. They're on a good roll here. 6-1 is not bad.
Yeah, 6-1, and Delboni has 12 frags. So 7 rounds have been played out, 12 kills. He's on, I don't know, 1.8 in terms of KD, something ridiculous like that. Oh, not KD, apologies, but in terms of...
12. Close.
Hey, what can I say? Maths...
Just off by 11.2 or 10.2.
Maybe. I dropped out of school to be here, so what can I say? Long story short, Delboni's doing very, very well. Let's put it like that.
I was going to say, like, oh, he dropped out of school. He's like, yes, get to cast with Banks. It's going to be such a great night. Finally, my dream's coming true. And then you hear Jason Kaplan's here, and you're like, ah, son of a... It's fine. You don't have to say it. I'll say it for you.
No, that's fine. That is fine. Bring yourself down.
That's what I do best.
What's it called? Self-discrepancy order, I think?
Self-depreciation. Depreciation.
Deprecation. Self-deprecation, there you go.
Depreciation. What am I, a car? Minute and 50 into this round.
It is appreciation, maybe. But yeah, as you said, 6-1. LG not looking too good here. 2,000 across the board, as it is going to be the eco.
Luminosity. Not really many pistols bought up either. Got a P250 in there for N1. And a flashbang out of steel, so probably use this flashbang to get out in towards the yard. Delboni's getting the first spray down, looking for the second. The Glock's not really doing as much damage as they'd hoped to. Even BLD going for the ump, gets a nice little double kill, gets a lot of extra money in his pocket. And Steel, who was the one to flash them out, heading towards Alley with God's work to do. And let's be honest, I don't think there's a real chance for him to get much off this round. So Snods, you know, looking at this, we had Luminosity. You know, this is like their hometown map practically. Like, this is one of their best maps, and yet Santos just seemed to be punishing LG.
Indeed, obviously, in terms of predictions, with how the first map went, which was the map pick from Santos, with how LG had been on train in the past, this was shaping up to be a very swift first best of 3, all in favor of the favorites of the whole bracket, actually.
Yeah, true. The team to represent the region.
Yeah, exactly. LG are anticipated to be the team that makes it through the qualifier. Obviously, No Tag, formerly MTC, are the rivals to that claim. But speaking of rivals, as Enkiz to find the first frag, but eventually it's N1 to back up his teammates. So it's a 2-for-1 trade towards Topper Pop Dog. 4 versus 3, and it feels like these teams have swapped shoes. Before it was Santos that would have the man advantage early on, that would lose it in the middle portion of the round. This time around on train, it feels like Luminosity can get advantages, but it's Delboni each and every time to bring it back into the favor of Santos. And early on, he's gone down, and with a minute 15 seconds left on the clock, it's down to the rest of the roster from Santos to bring home the 8th round.
Speaking of the rest of the roster, you can see Tifa there getting aggressive, trying to push things up and, more importantly, get information and hopefully play an angle that Luminosity is not going to be expecting. But as we can see on that mini-map, Luminosity are going to be rotating around over towards Alley, over towards Ivy to make the push in towards the outside side. And I don't really think anyone's looking in this direction. I think it's just be Showtime by himself with AWP. This first shot is going to be critical for him to land. Unfortunately, he will miss out on that one, but he gets a call at least to be made in. He misses the second as well. Really unfortunate for him. And now he's being shot up from behind from middle. Steel, who was flanking around, eliminates the op, who was pressuring them over towards Ellie. Now Yell is going to come up big to take down BLD. And Tifa is going to be the last one alive up against 4. He's going to have to jump on Steel. He's being very smart about the spots out. Both takes down Yell, takes down Steel. And now the 1-on-4, very realistic 1-on-2.
Indeed it is. 1 versus 2. Has the Molotov smoke as well. Had a defuse kit to add to the tally in terms of ways he could have won that duel, but it was N1 to spot the cross to the site and end any Santos hopes and dreams.
Luminosity tried to pick up the op that Yell did drop from Showtime that he picked up. Wasn't able to secure it. A little unfortunate for them coming into this round. And let's be honest, that was like their second real gun round out of the 9 we've had so far. And that looked a lot like the Luminosity we expected.
And the reason for that is Santos win the pistol, go 3-0 up. LG win the buy round and get instantly reset, which means they're back onto pistols, they're back onto CZ force buys. Therefore, they've only had 3, maybe 4 rounds at a stretch with full weaponry and utility. And that's being 10 rounds in. So it really is the salient point in terms of this matchup so far. LG onto weak economy and weak buys, and Santos just chaining the rounds together round by round. But into this one. Minute 15 left on the clock. No alley control, no B-Horse control, no pop dog control as well from LG early on, as they play rather passive, maybe anticipating Santos to put their foot down, apply the pressure, as they're the ones with confidence.
Not much damage, does get the kill onto N1. Nice little smoke there, quick thinking to actually cancel out on that. Molotov coming through. Keep in mind, also the first time we're seeing Santos run the double op setup, and the first time we're seeing BLD actually be gifted an op to use. Usually it's been Showtime as the one to do it. At least what we saw in the case of Inferno. That's going to be a nice shot coming out of Showtime, potentially the double coming through. Tifa playing from high. And Luminosity not really watching this position either. You can see one player that's going to be still sitting very far back. Yell, going for the shot of Showtime, gets him very low on health, but eventually be finished off by Del Bodhi. Tifa gonna push in to stop the plant from coming down. And now it's still alone against 5. And they've already covered the angle he's trying to actually penetrate with. That shot coming a little bit too close. He can maybe make it expensive for Santos here, but realistically, with 15 seconds left, Snods, I don't see him winning this.
It's very true.
Quite a bold prediction there, Jason. With 15 seconds to find 5.
I mean, if I could bet on this, I would bet on this round going in favor of Santos. But yeah, 1 versus 5, you are correct. Best job here to do is to try and find some exit frags, whittle down that CT economy as much as possible, and deny the save of full weaponry, which he hasn't managed to do.
And speaking of economies, they didn't have much of an economy to begin with because they only won that gun round after losing consecutive rounds. And now going to this one, money reset again, as you pointed out before.
Yeah, deja vu. Once again, LG going to be reset. They're going to be calling for the tactical timeout, which I definitely do agree with, as they need to try and recalibrate themselves on this T side of train. Obviously, when it's your map pick, the opposition choose the side. So LG pick this map, which means Santos choose the sides. They're obviously going to pick the heavily favored CT side. You win that pistol, you win that first buy round, or even better, you reset the money from LG, and here you have a stark lead going forward into round number 11.
You know what kind of worries me while we have a quick second, Snods, is that Luminosity...
Late flights?
Well, no, it's just that Luminosity have been able to like walk into inner before and then just win on aim battles without any utility in one of their first buy-ups. Even with them being able to do that, they still haven't been able to win a majority of the rounds. And that's kind of concerning to me.
It is, it is. So far, the retakes from Santos have been very, very good. Obviously, Del Boni is a major, major factor in that. Currently sitting at 16 kills after, well, 10 rounds being played out, so...
Double the person closest to him.
Exactly, so he's doing very well for his time. But speaking of time, minute 30 left on the clock, and speaking of buys, it's going to be the forced buy at that from LG. Single AK from Steel. Surprised to not see that single AK onto Lucas or Nekis. Instead, going to be on the IGL and Captain. Typically, the in-game leaders are going to be the lower skilled players. But anyway, coming into this one, smoke coming in towards the back of the sites. They're going to be trying to take out Tifa early on and win with the afterplan. But let's see.
I'd agree with you on that one, actually. I mean, we did have Lucas and Yell both big up head armor. And, well, the head armor was good, but it didn't last too long. Everybody lost out on those first 2 players. Showtime not playing outside, not playing in towards middle, be watching over towards inside. This ability is going to get his first kill on the board with the op. Now against 2. I mean, CZ's good, but I don't think he's going to be this good. And 1 will fall. And Nekis the last bit alive. Up against 4. No real chance he's going to be able to do much off this. And you know, it's always a scary thing as a caster to say, yeah, you know, 1 versus 3, 1 versus 4, there's no chance you can pull this off, and then they do it, and you look like the biggest idiot in the world. And every time I see a shot like that happen, where he got the first frag up, I instantly, like, my heart drops.
Well, the problem is, if you hype up every single 1 versus 3, you then again look like an idiot.
It's true.
But obviously, when you look at the highlights on Reddit, on Twitter, in frag movies, it's always the 1 versus 3s that are won, right? And these 1 versus 3s where they get lost, they're always going to be lost in the, you know, sheer amount of matches that are played. So maybe better off just sticking to the optimism and hoping that it gets saved. But right now, this round cannot be saved for LG. 2 versus 5, no weaponry apart from a P250. But as I say, that 1 frag there from N1, but that's all he's really going to be able to steal away from Santos, as they're going to be collecting double digits as we head into round number 13, a statement I didn't expect to be saying in the second map.
Yeah, and there's a big stack on the inside, not to mention BLD. He's got an AUG. He's got an AUG, all right.
I know, it's the swagger.
I can respect that kind of play. I mean, you know, if you're feeling yourself, you're up 10-2 against the team pitted to win the entire qualifier, doing some serious work. And again, Showtime gets aggressive. We talked about him being, you know, typically a passive player, but a rifler. Now picking up the op for the hands of Santos, then he's been able to put on some pretty good performance here. at least on the CT half of train. And we'll see if that's obviously going to transition when they do swap sides. So, minute and 40 into our 13th round. BLD this time going to be holding towards alleyway, and he gets caught with a smoke in his hand. And now Yell going to make the big push here, working with a nice little window of time he can use.
Minute 30 left as LG claim the first man advantage. DZT trying to send an HE grenade through in towards Pop Dog. In the meantime...
From like alley? And that's why he moved?
I'm not sure. I think he's trying to nade towards the upper halls. And in the meantime, they lost alley control. Obviously, the first kill from Yell was found there. Yep. And then, as you said, Yell from alley finds the kills in towards Pop Dog, grants LG the big advantage, and also gets them to a third round. But 10-3, not going to be feeling too optimistic about the chances here from LG this early on as we head into the penultimate round of the first half of map number 2.
Where's this Luminosity been this entire half? I mean, when they win the rounds, they win the rounds quite heavily. It's just been odd to see them start to struggle to really string together much of anything, because the 2 rounds they won before this, they've lost the following round.
Typically, when we see that, it's usually off the back of single plays from a single player. That last round was Yell, exactly. So into this one, it may be Nekus as he finds the first onto DZT, but going to be swiftly traded out. Another kill as well going in favor of the CT side as Showtime joins the scoreboard. So 4 versus 3, map advantage for LG, but man advantage here for Santos into this round as BLD searches for that next kill.
To be fair, we've seen how many times Santos have thrown away man advantage, at least on Inferno. That's going to happen yet again as BLD pushes through. He looks for the spray down, goes for the transfer a little bit too early, but gets the one tap to Steel's Dome. And Santos now 11-3 going into the last round of the first half with a massive lead. They're about to do to Luminosity on CT side train what Luminosity did to them on CT side Inferno.
Yeah, I mean, the swagger of the org and the flamboyancy of the one-tap with the AUG. As you said, we're looking to maybe be witnessing a 12-3 scoreline in the first half from LG and Inferno. And here, in the present, 12-3 half potentially for Santos in Train. So DZT having a lot of success towards Pop Dog, not just into this half, but maybe into this round as well, as LG have been scared to go towards that vicinity of the map, instead heavily favouring towards alley. Oh, and Showtime, BLD, all hitting the canvas. N1 chimes in for a second as well as it's down to Delboni, and he has been the star of the show for Santos. But right now his limelight has been ended. It's been cut off, and it's been moved instead to N1, who has 3 frags into this one, and is Tiffa all alone at 12 HP.
That's painful. That is painful right there, because that shot coming through just completely shuts down any sort of alley control that Showtime could have had with AWP. But Santos, unexpected 11-4 scoring at the end of the first half here, Stods. We do have to head to a short break while we get ready for the second half, so you guys will be back in a few minutes with the Intel Extreme Masters Chicago South American Qualifiers. Luminosity up against Santos. Welcome back, everyone, to the final qualifier for the Intel Extreme Masters Chicago CSGO tournament happening in November. Jason Kaplan, he's the handsome man Snods, and we're getting underway with our second half in a moment's time here between Luminosity Gaming and Santos. I'm going to keep talking, so you have no opportunity to give me a compliment back. 12-3 scoreline. I have to let you
Giving me
now.
time, so
yeah, I have to give you time now.
Thank you very much to your handsome self. Obviously, loving the shirt. Dots there as well. Typically, that's a bit of a flare up to the camera.
Typically, it's a no-no on camera, except they're so tiny.
Yeah.
You can't see them.
Oh, wow, there you go.
Yeah.
101 for any of you people want to get into casting. Do not buy dotted or patterned shirts as you're...
Striped.
Huh?
Definitely not striped.
Yeah, exactly, right? Otherwise, you're going to be, well, in an argument with the producer. Anyway, let's see. 4-11. LG might be having an argument of their own as they have to win this pistol to have a chance of claiming the second map most likely, as obviously Santos win this one. You're expecting a 14-4 scoreline after the conversion rounds are factored in as well, so that's a massive lead for them. But enough of the talking and into the action.
Lucas actually pushed it out through the smoke. It's eventually taken down as he does secure the first frag. The rest of the team yell, and then one going to push through at the same time. So they've been able to sneak out where that smoke was supposed to block them off. There's no punishment for this at all, and Yell comes in with another kill into Showtime. Bomb has been planted, so at least they have that going for themselves, but Yell's not being dealt with. He gets another frag on the board, and a third, I believe. This man, in the pistol run alone, has gotten Luminosity back on the board now. It will be a 5-11 scoreline. And LG, I think they've come to play.
A silver lining has been gained for LG going forward. 5-11 now. Has LG managed to silence the pistol round hot streak we've seen from Santos. Now for pistols, it's gone 3-1 as we head into the final half of the second map.
Look at the kills currently for Luminosity. N1 at 12 and Yell at 10. The rest of the team has yet to break 7 frags apiece. And over on the other side, Santos, I mean, obviously you're going to expect that from this kind of scoreline, yes. But you have Delboni at 20 frags and 5 deaths. This man has been going off in this map, and hopefully for the sake of him and his team, he can continue to do so.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, sometimes when you win halves off the back of one player, when that player goes silent or cools down in the second half, it can be a window of opportunity for the opposition to come back into the matchup. But Lucas is going to be silencing DZT, and silenced, of course, with the new MP5. But Bomb went down in the last round, I believe, so that's why we see Santos go for the eco. They can buy up into round number 18 as now they just will P250s and Glocks, so they will get 1 frag, and that's quite obscure to see, and usually the Glocks is just a whitewash of kills for the M4s. But anyway, 2 versus 4 here. This should be 6-11 scoreline as we go into the buy rounds.
Speaking of the MP5, I'm actually really sad that the TMP hasn't come back into the game.
See, do you know what, mate? I actually didn't play Source.
No, I
only found out about Counter-Strike 2015.
Wait, no. I'm talking about 1.6.
Oh, this is under my head. TMP? No,
yeah.
that means nothing to me.
It had another name that I can't say on air. It's kind of similar to MP5. But it's a little bit different. Silenced SMG.
Okay.
I'll show you when we have a break. I don't want to say the other name that everyone knows it's called by. But anyways, yeah, that was. I don't think it was even in Source. Now I think about it.
I didn't actually play Source at 1.6.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. I'm one of the baby boomers, let's say, of CS back when it blew up in 2015.
Really old now.
Oh, that's fine. That is fine.
Meantime, Luminosity on the buy up here. 8 OP for N1. And we do see Santos on their buy as well, since they were able to get the bomb down in that first round on the pistols. But they haven't been able to get really any consistent damage up against Luminosity so far in this round. Lucas still sitting with the MP5. And he's going to be having himself pushed up close and personal here towards lower if they do push in towards the inner bomb site.
So, 2 MP5s here for LG. AWP in the hands of N1 as well. 2 M4s to round off the rest of the CT buy. So if they win this one, they're going to be in a very good stead going forward in terms of their economy. But if they lose it, that's where Santos are going to be ever closer to the 16th round as the first exchange goes towards the B lower. And in the meantime, towards heaven, DZT gets sent towards hell as Yell with the M4 cements the 5 versus 4. Delboni as well, the star player for Santos, unable to have an advantage early on for his team as he's down to 21 HP. And this signals an advantage in a heavy one at that for LG with 30 seconds remaining on the clock as they group outside A.
The utility is just not going to be there. They've got 2 smokes. They have 1 flashbang off of Showtime, and N1, I feel like he's not going to miss these shots, at least not miss a follow-up shot if he does go for one. Flashbang will come in. He will miss that first shot, get tagged up. Does miss the second. Good old commentator's curse, but Nekus will be there, and he won't miss anything. He gets the first 2. N1's finally on the board, taking down Tifa, and he gets the last one to boot. Delboni's going to fall. Luminosity are continuing the reign here. of just a triumphant run on the CT side.
Triumphant indeed so far. 3 rounds, 1 in a row. As we head into the 19th, it should be the Quasi or Eco round coming out from Santos. Obviously, losing 3 in a row, they're going to be on the $2,400 round loss bonus. So best option here is to save, get that $2,900 into the next round, and buy up into round number 20.
What's worrying me, though, is that they're not really getting many kills on these gun rounds. I mean, yes, they've only had 1, but they're not getting that many frags. Even, you know, in thinking back to the pistol round, they're really starting to struggle here. And I feel like that's going to be something that's a sign of how the rest of this half might go for them if they can't find these ways in and they can't find these entry frags.
Typically, if there is a discrepancy in terms of skill, Jason, it's going to be exemplified on the CT side. The reason is you hold your position, you kill what comes in front of you, and you don't have to think as much with your team. Maybe you work with one other player on a site, but apart from that, you're not working as a 5-man unit. So, CT side for LG should be stronger in terms of firepower being in their favor. And into this round, the buy being in their favor as it was the Eco from Santos. So 8 to 11. 3 rounds separate these two teams. As prior, it was what? 11 to 3?
11-4 scoreline in the first half, yeah. I mean, that's when Luminosity got the final round of the first half to go up to that scoreline. But either way, yeah, you're right. And Santos are starting to let things slip here. But now they're going to be buying up again. Their second gun round. No AWP in the hands of Showtime this time. But Santos really need to start punishing Luminosity because their economy is definitely going to get out of hand. Lucas already up to 8K. Nekus up to 5K. And obviously they have the double up set up too, so they can afford to invest into it another round. So even if Santos get this round, they have to hope that they continue that pace up. That was a great flashbang onto N1, and Delboni, because that, is able to get a frag. Lucas will fall, but Luminosity still have 2 players here towards the inside site. There's no real chance that Santos is just going to be able to overrun it just yet.
Minute 20 on the clock here. Yell in towards Green Train. Grants LG the advantage. And another as well from the secondary op of N1. The rifle starting to work their magic into this round as well. As while blind through the smoke, Tifa finds 1. But 1 and done, as it is 3 players surviving for LG. 9 to 11 now. As we go into the 21st round, with the Eco coming up now from Santos as well, we could maybe seeing 1 round separate these 2 teams as we head into the 22nd.
I think that's going to be exactly what's going to happen here. Santos, they got 2 kills that round. They did take down an opper from Luminosity. The downside is Luminosity recovered the op into this round as well. So they don't have to invest the extra $47,500 to pick this up. Their economy is going to be pretty much be unfazed at this point, as now everyone's approaching that 5K point. Yell push up aggressively towards upper. He's going to miss out on that first shot. Molotov's going to come in, so it's going to push him back. He's going to have to retreat away, and the rest of Santos, the other 4 players, have not been spotted, actually. Keep that in mind.
Yep, bomb not seen towards B, so it's not going to be the over-rotation from LG swarming in towards B. Instead, as a typical thing on the B side on train, you have 2 players here versus Ecos, and this is why. You have the backup towards Heaven, and the rifle here in the prime position towards the spindle, able to find the first kill. Not quite the second just yet, he's going to get swarmed from behind himself, as Tifa tries to trade the frag in from Yale, but Nekus from above, going to be denying that. But bomb at least goes down here for Santos, they have that to write home about. But apart from that, Showtime, well, currently late on time as he's rotating in towards Connector, as the bomb will be defused. 10 to 11, as that 8-round lead we saw from originally 11 to 3 has now dwindled down to 1. Santos, have they let their window of opportunity slip away?
That was one of the first times we've seen Santos actually go for like an execute onto a site, it seems like. And when they did it, it was relatively successful. With all they have was pistols, yes, but they got a kill. They were able to get the bomb down, most importantly. I want to see more of that out of Santos. I want to see them go for these executes to catch Luminosity off guard, because the picks they're trying to go for, they're just not winning these aim battles anymore. And like you said, only being up 1 round when they were previously up by quite a few. Well, a lot more than that. I can't do the math on air. It's not acceptable for Santos. They need to really start to step up here, and Showtime gets the first frag. But now, can they keep this advantage? We've already seen this on Inferno, how many times they threw those away.
Aggression in towards a main here from LG. As it's BLD to hold the angle, backed up as well by Showtime towards T-Spawn. Only good enough for 1 though, as N1 chimes back in with a first and a second as well, as DZT just walks straight into the scope there of N1. Definitely a very, very poor decision to be making. As with 1:05 left on the clock, as you said, Santos conceding the advantage they once had. As Steel watches the smoke, anticipates the push as well. With 1 minute left on the clock, Santos are falling apart.
They had a 5-on-3 And then they threw that away to turn into a 3-on-3. And I can understand because you see N1, he shoots the op, you can rush him down, but he hits the follow-up and the one after. And Lucas gets the spray down onto 2. That is unfortunate for Santos, but Luminosity have tied things up now at 11 apiece. This map is being pushed towards the later ends of it to the midnight moments. And yet Luminosity are starting to come out a lot stronger here. Santos, they're going to have an op again for Showtime, who got the first 2 frags in the last round, but they weren't able to convert anything off of that. Will they be able to this time? That's going to be the question.
It's true. They have many advantages in many rounds on Inferno, and now we witness it again for a second time on Train. Round number 23, Yell with a secondary up going in towards B upper. Obviously, the advantage of having a double AWP is you have 2 spawns to work with the AWP to try and get the entry frag as...
That information, by the way, from Yell. This far pushed up, he knows if they're coming in, and that's why they can stack 4 players out on yard.
Exactly. You saw the instant rotation from Lucas as soon as Yell saw no one towards B upper. 4 players here from LG, which means Lucas can now hold towards Ali, allowing Steel to get aggressive in towards Sandwich. And they have more of a 4 position here towards the A site, granting them an even bigger advantage than they already have in the second half. So, minute 10 left on the clock. Pop Dog control in favor of the T's. T-Main in their hands as well, but they haven't got quite conquered Ali just yet. But all it's going to take is a smoke flash potentially. But the shot there missed by Yell, but the Molotov should delay momentarily.
Really risky play here, pushing up past the Molotov. But with his own Molly going down, he knows he's been able to hold them back, and they've actually retreated away. Still maintain those 4 players at Luminosity on the outside, 2 over towards Ali. And Yell still hasn't been overrun just yet. Lucas going to be flashed in by Steel, but no one's peeking him. 40 seconds left, and they have to pick up the pace. Yell might be overrun here. This might be really unfortunate for him and Luminosity. And DZT through the smokes to get the headshot. And now Santos, the man advantage yet again. Do they go back? Do they rotate towards inner after having that frag? And they're going to push on the outside. Lucas going to get the trade in the 1-for-1. DZT looking for Nekus here, and he's actually being dropped very low on HP. And one's chiming up, though, over towards Hell. Able to actually halt this push for another time, but Showtime's able to get the better of him. At least in this instance, straight through the smoke. Can actually stop the bomb from being planted, but Showtime comes in big again. Now Steel up against 3. They're so low on health. He's going to push Showtime down. He takes him out of this fight. Tries to go for the spread into the plant. The bomb has been put down. But still, he has a kit, he's got a flashbang, and he has both of them low on health. Dabroni, he'll fall. DZT not going to be there for the trade. As we can see, there's an opportunity for him to stick this one, but he's trying to bait out DZT. He doesn't know where he is. He's going to hear him running on top of that train. Time is starting to run out, and he has to pull off this frag. He has to do it fast. DZT has dropped. Spray has come in. DZT trying to create some space, trying to use this terrain to his advantage, trying to hide, and still will get the kill another time. Will it be there?
Oh, it's going to be close here, Jason. Diffuse has been stuck, and I believe he has just enough. 1, 2 seconds remaining, as you've got to be saying, why on earth is that final player peaked Steel? Play Ring Around the Roses towards Electric, delay the plant, delay the diffuse, and try and deny the round win. As in terms of mental fortitude, it's now going to be tested for Santos. After having a stark lead going into the second half, they're crumbling piece by piece, player by player, into the 24th. As now, finally, LG have the lead. 12-11. And, well, now our prediction, our narrative of the 2-0 for maps is starting to come to fruition.
They had, I'm sorry to go back to this, but they had a man advantage. They took down Yell, who was pushed up aggressively in upper. And then they had a 3-on-1 with the bomb planted. Like, these situations, Santos have had every opportunity to get this to like pretty much to map point. They've had every opportunity to actually take this map. And yet these small little mistakes, these small miscommunications and the way they're executing things are costing them so many rounds. Luminosity now, as you mentioned, with the lead the first time in this map. Still with a double op setup. Still with a ton of money to spend on Steel. And Yell in a good position, rotating over from B. Gets the leg onto BLD, pushes out Neck. It's going to be overrun, though, as they came out through Pop. And now Yell. I don't even know how you pull that shot off, but he makes it look all too easy. Don't tell me he's going to get another follow-up. No, he won't, but N1 will be there. And now Tifa alone against 2. I don't know why N1's actually peeking this. He must be feeling aggressive. Lucas is going to close this one down. Now Luminosity are 3 away from getting through further on into the bracket.
How are you supposed to win versus the synergy of twins in a 2 versus 1?
They don't even need to talk. They already know what each other are thinking. They're twins.
Exactly. Exactly. 13-11. My goodness, we forgot the fact that Santos haven't won a round yet. It's been 9 rounds, 1 in a row for LG. And so far, Rush thought it was the old hardware show, yeah.
Or the rounds?
Unfortunate there, mate. But 4 versus 5. At least the Deagle does work. Oh, he's not happy with that one. Hashtag bring back the scoreboard. That shows that.
Oh, Santos going to be on the save here. A couple of pistols to use. P250, a couple of Deagles, a couple of CZs. But Luminosity do have yellow. Or sorry, Steel actually this time pushed up aggressively in towards inner. And he's going to be able to just mow them down if they're not able to clear this location. Someone's going to have to hit a fantastic shot to get an opportunity to push him towards inside. And Steel's going to go for the spray down, gets the first, going for Showtime. He can't quite connect the shots, and Tifa will get the overrun on him. But N1 comes around the corner, swinging in for the first shot to Showtime. He gets the second on to BLD. And now DZT by himself, trying to play sneaky snake here. Will eventually fall. Now Luminosity are up to 14, and as you mentioned before, are now 10 rounds in a row.
Round number 26. 14 to 11. Formerly, the 7-round lead for Santos, but as you said, 10 rounds, 1 in a row for LG, as now they're the ones with the lead, and it's 3 rounds at that. Orp for Showtime once again, but to completely be honest, he hasn't really impressed me. I don't know if he's impressed you, but he was a primary rifler on old LG when he stood in for SK as well. Right now, he's not showing up top trumps. This is just going to be a 4 versus 3 in favor of LG, as it's all down to Beldoni and DZT.
Oh, 2 on 4. This is not a good situation to be in for them, as we've been mentioning. And I'm not sure if Delboni and DZT can really do this. They've got the AKs, they've got some utility to work with, but now they're only down to 1 player as Delboni. Yeah, he's giving his spot away. Neck is just going to spray at him through the floor. He falls down to his death. And Luminosity are now on match point here. 15 to 11 on Train. Looking to get themselves through further into the winner bracket.
Further indeed. Obviously, if you go to the lower bracket, you have to play an extra 2 best-of-3s. Therefore, if you are LG, if you are the heavy favorites, you want to get the job done as quick as possible. Round number 27, as you said, this is probably going to be the last round of this first best-of-3 of the day. We have 2 more to enlighten you viewers at home with. So 4 match points here for LG going forward, as it's going to be N1 towards Sandwich. Misses the first shot, but the Flames make up for it. And so does the repeat towards Brown Train. Ooh, the second flick as well, and the last one is going to be sealing the deal. 15 to 11, and there you have it. All rounds won in favor of the favorites, LG.
And to be fair to Santos, they had a great start on CT side, put up 11-4 scoreline. But when it went to the T side, to the side of the map where you have to play really well as a team and really show how well you worked on synergy and worked well together, it just did not come to fruition. It showed on Inferno, it showed it on Train, and unfortunately, it'll show again when they get to the loser bracket side of the map. We're going to be coming back with Luminosity after a short break to follow them further on in the tournament. And guys, hopefully you'll stick around for the Intel Extreme Masters Chicago South American Qualifiers here, live from Cologne, Germany.